Hello everyone, and welcome to the Lost Shores video. So this is a video that I decided to make to kind of illustrate the event that happened this past weekend in Guild Wars. Well, actually this past weekend. Hopefully I'll get it done in order to be able to say this past weekend in time. But basically today is November 21st. And this video was actually recorded obviously during the Lost Shores event, which, if I'm not mistaken, was during the 16th, 17th, and 18th. Now, as you could see, there was this big monster basically invading in Lion's Arch. Now, that monster, the first one that you actually saw in the cinematic, not the one that we're fighting right now, but the first monster you actually saw in the cinematic is called Ancient Carka, if I'm not mistaken. I believe that was the Ancient Carka. And what you're watching right now is actually day one of the Lost Shores event. So the whole point of day one is to kind of just introduce you to the monsters who are currently attacking Lion's Arch and to figure out why they are attacking Lion's Arch. Now, besides this particular event that you have right now, which is basically just kind of defend Lion's Arch, there was actually a couple of more quests that I actually did not record, which would also give you some more information regarding the event. But in day one, basically, it was all about these monsters spawning all over Tyria. It was not just Lion's Arch; they also spawned in other locations. Even though I was not able to participate in the event in those locations, mostly because I had huge lag and I had constant disconnects. I actually did not get a single reward for day one, and I believe I didn't get a single reward for day two either, simply because of lag. I mean, there's just huge amounts of lag. Luckily enough, on day three, I'm not sure if I got placed in a different overflow server or something like that, but on day three I was actually able to play without that much lag, which was to me which was actually really good, because to me day three was the most fun of all. But anyways, in case you're wondering, what happened is apparently there's this new organization that showed up in Lion's Arch called the Consortium, and I don't know a whole lot about the lore behind the Consortium, but apparently they were exploring this island and they brought back some plants, and these dudes, the carcass, did not like it. And since they did not like it, they followed the plants into Lion's Arch and they invaded Lion's Arch and basically are trying to inflict as much damage as possible. That was my interpretation of the events. Anyways, if you guys feel that it was a poor that what I'm saying is a poor representation of the events, feel free to leave it on the comment section below and tell me exactly what happened, because once again, I'm not 100% sure. I did some of these quests, but it was pretty confusing actually, because you end up going to places of the world that I hadn't even gone to, because I haven't explored the whole map yet. As you can see by the video, I'm level 60, I believe. I can't see very well in the preview window, unfortunately, sorry about that, but I'm level 60, and what happens is during this event, everyone in Lion's Arch was actually upscaled to level 80, so that you could actually be effective in defending Lion's Arch. Or, I mean, you're not going to be very effective unless you're level 80, but at least you're not going to get one-shotted either. So, throughout these events, I ended up using ranged weapons a lot more than melee weapons, also because I suffered from a lot of lag, and because ranged weapons allowed me to help other people more with buffs and standards and whatnot, and also keeping me alive longer than actually using melee weapons. And also what I tried to do was to resurrect as many people as possible. Basically, I was trying to go for more a support role, which you guys already know that I like supporting, but in this event I would have preferred being on the front lines tanking the carka, but as a level 60 it became really hard. Now there I almost actually fell down there fighting this carka dude. Interesting thing is that on day one you were actually not able to damage these big carcas that you see here. You were just supposed to kill the smaller ones that they spawn, because you simply couldn't deal damage. Now on day two, which the footage is about to come up right now, They, I believe it was the Lion's Guard in conjunction with some Azuras actually developed some form of a weapon that was actually able to penetrate the Karka armor, which is the scene that you guys see right now. People actually have a weapon now that we can... there's a weapon version of it which works kind of like a green flamethrower, and there was also a liquid that you could coat your weapons in to try and deal damage with your own weapons if that's what you prefer to do. Now, honestly, my weapons didn't do that much damage because, once again, I'm only level 60. So I ended up looking one of these green flamethrower thingies and just ended up using that to damage the Karka. And as you can see, these green things, as well as your weapons being coated in the green stuff, will actually cause the legs of the Karka to no longer have armor, and that will actually make him vulnerable and allow us to kill the Karka. Now, on this particular day of the event, which is the second day, besides slaughtering Karka, we were also allowed to finally go onto the island that the Karka came from to kind of take the fight back to them, which was the second day was actually a lot cooler than the first day, in my opinion, even though, once again, since I suffered from massive lags, it was not as good as it could have been. So there was this section of defending Lion's Arch, and after you were able to successfully defend Lion's Arch, you were actually able to board a boat that would take you to the island. Now, this was actually really confusing because a lot of players did not know where the boat was. Here I'm trying to communicate with Vex Trinity, who was with me at the event, and we're trying to board the boat and trying to figure out where the boat is. And eventually we found it, and we came to the island. The footage that you're watching right now is actually already on the island. So once we got to the island, we were once again fighting Karka. But the whole point of this day was to kind of set up a base of defenses in the island so that we could more effectively take the fight to the Karka and basically beat the living crap out of them. Now, at this point, you did not actually require the special coating to take down Karka. I guess it's just kind of one of those things that ArenaNet, for convenience, just assumed, look, you guys already understood that we developed this technology that allowed us to beat the crap out of the Karka, so, I mean, we don't really need to put you through the hassle of coating your weapons in green stuff or grabbing a green flamethrower and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, here we are just beating Karka and conquering strategic points in the island to kind of build defenses and whatnot to take the fight back to the ancient Karka, which was the big one that showed in the cinematic at the start of the video. Because the whole point is to take that guy down to ensure our survival. And here we are capturing points, like I told you, in the island. And this is pretty much what we did the second day. We were capturing points and we were escorting people who were also building roads and bridges and whatnot. And it was actually kind of fun because you got to see the different scenery. I mean, everybody gets access to a whole new zone. We got upscale to level 80. I'm not sure if this upscale on the island is permanent. But let me just tell you that even being upscaled to level 80, I could still not solo grind in this particular area. I tried it, it did not work. By the way, this attack that the Karka do, that they just spin on top of you and roll through you, is a pretty damn deadly attack. So if you ever come across a Karka, keep that in mind. And as you can see here, I mean, just the lag that I had was just ridiculous, which was one of the reasons why I did not have so much fun. Also, the other thing was, besides the lag, I mean, once you get disconnected, because I had several disconnects throughout the event because I timed out. Once you get timed out from an event and then you log back in, you don't necessarily get placed in the same overflow server. And what happened was, on multiple instances, I ended up doing the same event over and over and over and never really got rewarded for it because every time I got timed out, I ended up in a different server. As a matter of fact, in the third day, even though I had less lag, I still had to basically, when I died, I could not go and respawn at a waypoint because I would get disconnected, which was a real pain in the ass. Now here was actually another good point of day 2, which was I really enjoyed it when they were building this bridge, because you can really see it's basically they're kind of building structures and stuff like that around the island, which is why they say this is a one-time event that completely changes the way the world works, because the island was pretty much virgin when we got here, and we are following along the NPCs as they are building fortifications and defending them from carka. So it was a really fun event, if only it was not for the massive lag that we suffered and the problems with overflow servers. Like right now I'm actually in the same server as Vex Trinity, because we were trying to keep each other we were trying to keep in each other's server to kind of follow the progress. But it wasn't always like that, and a lot of times I ended up in different servers than trying to join back in, and you lose your contribution and the progress to the event that you're doing. It was just really hard in these first 2 days to actually keep things going. And as you can see here, I'm just suffering from massive lag, and I was actually asking around to people where the ArenaNet servers were. Yeah, just look at this lag here. I was just filming the carcass animation of spitting out eggs. It was just a little fun thing that I was doing while I was recording, because I recorded most of the event and then I had to sift through a lot of footage to basically bring you guys what I thought was essential about the event. So here we built a bridge, and then we just kept on exploring the island. We were following NPCs. NPCs were building fortifications in the island. This was basically just setting up base camps throughout the map, and those were the events. You would be defending NPCs. If only the lag was not so terrible, so that you wouldn't have to look at people shooting invisible things. It would really be awesome. Once again, taking down carkas. There were carkas all over the island. I believe there still are, and I also got a lot of frame issues. I had to put the graphics down, which is weird, because I mean, theoretically my computer should be able to handle all of this stuff. I think they need to optimize the engine quite a bit, but still, overall it was a really fun event because of what happens in day number 3, and I can't wait until the footage for day number 3 starts rolling so that you guys can see what was the best event for me. So here, as you guys can see, we are in the section of the island, and there's this bridge here, and this is actually one of the camps that we're basically clearing out carcass from here. And once we're done clearing out carcass from this particular section, they're going to form a base camp in this location. Which, again, I just thought it was cool, running around with the NPCs and with all these people, because there were tons and tons of people. I've heard rumors of millions of people doing this event all around the world. Once again, the thing that really ticked me off was just the overflow servers, and every single time you got a disconnect, it was just so frustrating to try and get back to get rewards and whatnot, even though the main reward for me in this particular event was the event itself. I mean, whatever, getting 10,000 experience for one specific section of the event is like, it's not really such a big deal as much as it is to actually experience the ongoing event itself. And as you can see, once again, just massive lag. And I've heard reports that a lot of people had lag. But like I was saying, I was actually asking around where ArenaNet servers were located, because I mean, my connection is 100 megabits down, 7 megabits up, so that's pretty good. I shouldn't really be having that much lag. So I believe they're in Frankfurt, and so I tested my connection on 3 different servers in Frankfurt using speedtest.net, and my connection to Frankfurt was like, I had around 100 millisecond ping and 22 megabits down and 5 megabits up or something like that. So again, I don't think the problem was on my end. I just think that ArenaNet servers were just overloaded as all hell, and hopefully that will be something that they will pay attention in future events that they do of this magnitude. But once again, you guys have to keep in mind that it's like this is not a subscription model MMO. And I'm not saying that this is an excuse, mind you, no way. In no way is this an excuse. I'm just saying, look at the amount of content that we now got. A whole new island, new quests, new materials, new crafting stuff. And just this big, massive event. It was just a shame that it was only one time, because I know of a lot of people that did not get to actually participate in the event, which is let me tell you, you guys totally missed out, because like I was saying, on the third day, which is about to come up right now, this is actually footage from the third day. The event was amazing. So as you can see here, this is the first section of the event. Basically, we got out from a camp that was close to this particular cave. This is one of the caves inside the island. And this is the cave, supposedly, where the ancient Carka lives. So we're coming over here, and we're going to set down some explosives. So you're basically escorting the Lion Guard Demolition Squad. And they're going to set down some explosives, which will come to play further on during the event. Now, as you can see, I was in party with Vex Trinity on the upper left corner, but unfortunately, we were not able to join the same overflow server. As a matter of fact, on this particular event, I've done this phase of the event. I've done enough of this phase of the event 3 times on different overflow servers to get gold. I've done enough to get gold 3 times over. And it was only on the 4th that I was actually able to keep going, because I kept getting disconnected, even though the lag was not as bad. Now, what you see me also use here is a completely different build than what you've seen me use in the earlier dungeon videos, because for starters, I'm actually going with a rifle. And like I told you guys, the reason for the rifle is because it allows me to stay at a safer distance while also staying alive and helping out everyone else, instead of just dying and being a burden for everyone else to try and res me. And also, I started using standards a whole lot more to buff everyone else, because since I was not able to do that much damage, because here I am 63, I believe. Since I was level 63, once again, they do scale you to level 80, but you still don't have the your level 80 traits. I was about to say treats. You still don't have your level 80 traits, and you also don't have level 80 armor or weapons, so you're always going to be a little bit gimped when compared to actual level 80 players. So that was one of the reasons why I ended up going with a rifle. Thinking back to it, because I'm not very experienced with ranged weapons for the warrior, so thinking back to it, I would probably have fared a lot better with a bow, because you can do tons and tons and tons of AoEs with the bow, and the bow is just a better choice overall when you're doing PvE content. I feel that the rifle is better for, well, obviously single target DPS as well as PvP. Now here, as you can see, we're just basically trying to push up. There were 2 points to this particular part of the event, which was we had to first go into the cave and go as high up as we possibly could to plant explosives. After we planted explosives on the top section of the cave, we would then descend down and once again encounter a whole bunch of more carcas, and we would set explosives down there. So you're setting explosives in 2 different sections of this cave to basically try and eliminate the carca threat. And me personally, just once again, trying to keep everyone buffed and alive as much as possible. I was rocking my war banner so that I could try and mass res people when you had just big waves of dead people. And it worked out actually sometimes. I mean, if it was actually counting the reses that I did with my banner, I think I easily, like, I'm not even exaggerating, I must have resed over 200 people throughout the course of the entire event. And this is not even, this is like easily, because this event took several hours to complete, and several times our groups would have been almost fully wiped. And it wasn't just me, several other warriors were also rocking war banners, because I noticed other war banners in there. Like, this attack just kills so many people. Look at that, just people dying left, right, and center. And a lot of warriors, I think, were actually, I'm not exactly sure how many people can mass res. I know the warriors can with the war banner, but I think warriors were definitely a big part of getting everyone rezzed massively to keep the groups going, which was very, very fun. Once again, this is one of those events that you can consider that it's more of a zerging event, so to speak, but it was so much fun, and you could tell that everyone was having a blast, apart from obviously complaints about lag and whatnot. And you will also see sometimes monsters disappear from my screen, but the lag was tolerable in the 3rd day. And like I was telling you guys, if you guys missed the first 2 days, no big deal, as long as you came on the 3rd day. Now, this is actually after we've set the explosives on both the top and bottom side of the cave. We had to come and face out against Ancient Carka. And we were basically going to push the Ancient Carka back to the cave where the explosives are, and where we will basically be able to take him down eventually. So as you can see here, this is the first section. So the first section that you have to do is you have to knock down this tree that you see in front of you, and the tree will fall down on top of the Ancient Carka, and that will move the event along to the next section, which is the reason why everyone is firing at the tree. You will see the tree fall down here in a couple of seconds. Here it goes, boom! Hits the Carka in the face, and now the Carka will start slowly dragging his sorry ass back onto his cave. So we're basically pushing the Carka back to the cave where we just set the explosives for the final showdown. You will see me basically a lot of times just basically picking up standards, and I think I've said basically like 100 times. I'm really sorry about that. But you will see me pick up standards and laying down standards a whole bunch of times. I might actually do a video about this particular build. I like to call it the Standard Bearer, which I really enjoy this playstyle, which I actually started using during this event because simply I couldn't do much apart from buffing people and rezzing people. So I just decided, what the hell, I'll just get a whole bunch of banners and keep buffing everyone with my defenses and the war banner for mass rezzes, and that's pretty much what I did. Now this is the second stage of pushing the Carka onto the cave, and in the second stage he actually calls down a whole bunch of reinforcements, and we basically have to take out the reinforcements before we are allowed to proceed with the event. By the way, that green stuff was nasty. You guys have no idea how nasty that green stuff they were spinning was. Here you see we're still on the same stage. I was just trying to keep people alive, rezzing up people. At this stage it's also important to mention that it was completely useless to fire at the Ancient Carka itself because he could not really be damaged, so you should only really focus fire on everything else. Not that this really matters from a guide perspective, because this event is supposedly never going to happen again, like ArenaNet said, a one-time event, which is a damn shame because this event was a lot of fun, and I really feel for the people that missed out on this event. Once again, as you can see here, just shooting everything down, taking out the Carka reinforcements so that we could move on to the next phase. It's just a lot of fun when you see so many players doing the same thing in the same spot. Just like this massive zerg of people just running around and just killing stuff. It was awesome, in my opinion. And here, once again, we are still in the same event, but we're about to finish it off here. As you can see, another Carka running around, and you can see how much percentage of reinforcements we've defeated at this point. I just landed a mass res there. Unfortunately, I believe that they capped the amount of experience that you can get from resurrecting people in this way, because I seem to only be getting each time that I do a mass res, like I'll res, I don't know, 10 people at once with my war banner, and I seem to only get experience for resurrecting 2 people. Which I guess kind of makes sense, because otherwise people using war banners would just level up like madness. Or you could be getting the experience of the 10 people, and I'm just missing out on it. But here you see me just running around with the war banner. Now, the banners actually give buffs even if you're the one just holding them, which is the reason why I was holding the war banner and just running around giving everyone speed, might, and whatever the other buff is. I think it's regeneration. Now this right here is the third stage of pushing the Carka, and here we were basically revealing these geysers and then throwing rocks against them, and once you throw a rock into a geyser, it would actually bounce and hit the Carka. So that was the whole point of this event, just throw rocks at him using those geysers. Which again, I mean, this particular part of the event I did not like that much, but it was still pretty fun. Once you were done with that section, you would go into this other section now that you see here, where we actually have to set off a rock slide against the Ancient Carka to once again keep on pushing him towards the cave. And you can see there, those are the rocks that I was able to highlight. You have to basically damage these rocks, and that will cause a rock slide which will go against the Ancient Carka, once again pushing him further closer to the cave and proceeding on with the event. As you see, the players here just basically start hacking away at this. Now, as I was hacking away at this, I was always just mindful of the amount of energy left, because I was thinking, man, when this thing's about to give in, I'm getting the hell out. And I think it would be really cool if players would actually be damaged by this. But I don't think they were, because there were a lot of people just standing in front of it, as you saw there, and they did not die, so I assume they didn't take any damage. Once again, Rock Slide and the Ancient Carka keeps going further and further away and basically closer to the cave where we came from at the very start of the video. Now here is another reinforcements phase where basically he is summoning reinforcements, with the exception that this phase had mortars behind us, which is the fire that you see coming down from the sky in the form of missiles. Those are actually players which are controlling mortars and shooting mortars against these reinforcements, which I thought was really, really cool. It was a really good example of teamwork. And the people who were on those mortars, they were getting these shots pretty damn accurately, if I can say myself. As you can see here, just completely landing and annihilating these reinforcements, which was really good play on the people who were at these mortars. Now, I would like to congratulate my server on being really organized with this kind of stuff, but I have to say, this was not really my server. This was an overflow server, which was just a mix match of a whole bunch of people from a whole bunch of different servers, and we were still able to do it fairly effectively. So once again, a lot of fun in this particular section. I know that Vex Trinity didn't particularly like this part because he said he was getting bored because there were just too many enemies. I loved it. I loved the fact that there were like friggin' 200 people or however many players are in here just basically pushing this carka down. I'm a big fan of these massive events, and I think that this one on the third day was just amazing. Like, if you missed out, you really missed out, because I personally was having a blast. It was possibly the most fun I had in Guild Wars 2 was this particular event. Once again, I was just disappointed because I was unable to team up with Vex Trinity, because either his overflow would be full or my overflow would be full, and then we would be a certain percentage into the event, and we did not want to lose our contribution, so each of us would not want to desert our overflow server. I mean, it was a complicated scenario, and I hope that for the next one they improve. But we have to also notice that day 1 was the worst. We had a lot of problems in day 1. Day 2 was iffy, but it was better than day 1, lag-wise and whatnot. And day 3 was a lot better. So I think that they're getting it. I think they're kind of improving on the technology that their servers use and whatnot, and that's a good thing. So this was one of the last phases that we got before we actually pushed him back into the cave. And in here, what we had to do was we had to destroy these webbings that they had on top of explosive gas, and as they would explode, they would damage the Ancient Carka and keep on pushing him back. We had to destroy 12 of these things, and you guys will see that each time we blow one of these up, there's actually a big explosion of flame sets off, and the boss takes damage. So this is basically how we did the final stage of pushing him back into the cave where we have the explosives. Boom, as you can see, everyone gets knocked back. Big explosion. And me once again rocking the the rifle, just shooting crap and keeping banners up so that I could keep buffing everyone. And it's just, this standard bearer playstyle became my standard playstyle. I actually solo using this playstyle right now, with a couple of changes in the build for solo, obviously. But this is how I actually play the game right now, is just I lay down banners even when I'm solo, because banners give massive buffs, and you can, once you're done killing monsters in an area, you can pick the banner up and take it with you, use it to buff your speed and whatnot. But anyways, as you can see here, the Ancient Carka is finally back at the cave. However, this is obviously not, the event is obviously not over yet, because it's not just about getting him back to the cave. You have to get him back to the cave, blow up the cave, and then blow up with him, basically. So once we were in the cave, we had to once again go all the way up where we planted the explosives, with carka constantly spawning on us. So we were basically slowly pushing up, and we had to destroy these particular webbings that you see on the screen right now. And those webbings were basically covering the explosives. So we had to get rid of them so that we could detonate the explosives. And once again, it was a double-sided event. We had to first clear out the top side, then we had to clear out the bottom of the cave. And when we were finally done with that, as you can see here, we're actually going back down. And this was actually really amusing. Like I said, that rolling attack is just devastating. And here you will see me do a mass res, I believe. Yeah, just boom, lay down the war banner, res a whole bunch of people with the war banner, which was the reason why I love the war banner so much. And yeah, we're just descending here into the next stage of the event. There's actually no point in attacking the ancient carka. I think he was just glitching a little bit because he wasn't advancing towards the next stage. And here is the next stage of the event, the explosives on the bottom side of the cave. We are once again removing the webbings so that we could detonate the explosives. And once again, just amazing event in my opinion, because there's like a ton of people here. People are helping each other, buffing, rezzing. That's one of the things that Guild Wars really does well, is just get people together and just have at it, basically. Because you don't need to party with them. You don't need to do anything. You're just, everybody gets rewarded regardless of what happens, as long as you contributed to the event. Here, as you can see, I went down, got instantly resurrected, and just trying to stay alive. Because like I told you guys, as a level 64 at this point, it was actually pretty hard to stay alive, because stuff would hit you a lot harder than actual level 80 players. Once we removed the webbings on the bottom section of the cave, we finally got the final fight against Ancient Carka. This is like 2+ hours into the event. I mean, even though for you guys it's only been like, what, 30 minutes or something. This is 30 minutes for the 3 days, but this is 2+ hours into the event on the 3rd day. It is the final stage of the battle, and everyone's just like, yeah, let's kill the bastard. Yeah, everybody was just going crazy, and it was really awesome. Here we actually were finally able to start damaging the Ancient Carka himself. As you can see, I'm just trying to make as much damage as possible while keeping my banners up, keeping everyone buffed with damage and defense. I'm just spreading them evenly to make sure that there's buffs all over the place, no matter where you are. And yeah, that was pretty much the event. And I have to say, the event was awesome. The 3rd day especially, because the first 2 days were actually pretty frustrating. I was even tweeting at Guild Wars 2, like really pissed off that there was just massive lag. And day 1, I didn't even get rewards for anything, because basically I got disconnected. I even got a blue screen. I even got a blue screen of death. So yeah, that's how bad stuff was going for me on the first 2 days. But on this one, it was just awesome, and I just had a blast. And once again, I have to say, out of all of the MMOs that are out right now, this is really the only one that interests me, because they just, I mean, I don't know any other way to explain it. It seems that they really respect the time that you spend playing the game. It's not like, oh, you've spent half an hour playing, you got like no progress out of it. No, you can usually do stuff regardless of how long you put into the game. It is your decision of how hardcore you want to go into this game, and I just thought that was awesome. So here, as you can see, the Ancient Carka is just slowly going down, and we're all just at this point, everyone's just like, yeah, take it down. Everybody was going crazy, trust me, it was awesome. And here I was just, even I was like screaming, you had to come to the wrong neighborhood, didn't you? Oh my god. So yeah, and here we're about to take him down, and we got a little cinematic coming. So you had the explosion, but it did not really open up the thing beneath him. So basically now players have to jump up and down to kind of try and make the floor crack, which I thought was hilarious. I'm like, so the bombs didn't do it, but we're gonna do it by jumping up and down. And here he is about to go down.
It's dead! We did it! Not so unbreakable now, are you?
And that was the death of the ancient Carka, and it was the end of the Lost Shores event. So for those of you who did not get to experience the Lost Shores event, I'm really sorry that you guys weren't able to do it. Hopefully you guys will be able to join whatever is the next event that ArenaNet does, because let me just tell you, it was a lot of fun. The rewards were pretty good as well. It was well worth it reward-wise if that's the only thing you're into. But regarding the event itself, just the event was enough for me. It was awesome and it was amazing. I just wished that we have had less technical difficulties. But overall, the third day really won me over, and it got me hopelessly addicted to Guild Wars 2 again. After this, we went on to do some fractal dungeons, which you guys probably have already seen in my channel because I just posted them straight up as they were. Fractal dungeons were also a lot of fun. I'm trying to rush to level 80 so that I can do fractal dungeons more consistently and with better performance, because you guys have probably seen my performance was not the best in those particular fractal dungeons. But anyways, that's going to be it. This has been Rurikhan with the Lost Shores event of Guild Wars 2. As usual, leave me your feedback and comments and all that kinds of good stuff. And I hope this, for all those of you who did not get to be here, I hope that this kind of helped you understand what the event was all about and kind of allowed you to experience the event through me somehow. So anyways, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.